Hindi po kilala, Your Honor.
Oh, Major Laraga, hindi niya kilala. Former inmate, saan yun? Siya. Hindi, ikaw. Major. Dapat alam mo yung background ng deponent mo, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Saan siya dati nakakulong?
I believe in Aboyog Penal Colony, Mr. Chair.
The same? No.
No,
Mr.
no, I think
Mr.
no.
Chair. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
We do not have any PDL by the name of Ulindan. And records, upon verification of our records, he never visited the Baybay Sub-Provincial Jail Facility.
Oh, Major Laraga, hindi siya former detainee o inmate ng provincial jail. Sabi mo nga sa Aboyog. Tapos, hindi rin nag-visit doon. Major Laraga, wag kang magsinungaling.
Mr. Chair, I cannot answer for and in behalf of my deponent and that as to regard of
No,
the version
sandali
of,
po. Hindi ko po sinasabi sa iyo that you have to answer. Ikaw po nagsabi na sinabi ng deponent mo na bumisita sa doon.
that is correct, Mr.
And
Chair.
now, the jail warden confirms na walang nangyaring visit.
I cannot attest to the
yun nga,
statement of the jail
Yun
guard,
nga,
Mr. Chair.
sabi ko sa iyo kanina, tinanong nga kita, have you checked?
Personally, not, Mr. Chair.
Personally,
Me personally.
bakit sino pa ba dapat mag-check?
I believe we have a surveillance personnel who took
Ikaw ba naman,
Validation,
Major
Mr. Chair.
Laraga? Ikaw yung nag-apply, principal nag-apply ng mga search warrant, tapos sabihin mo na, di ba sinabi mo kanina nagbisita siya?
based on his testimony, Mr. Chair.
Oh, kaya nga sinasabi ko sa iyo, based on his testimony. Now, kino-confirm ngayon na walang nangyaring visit yung deponent mo. O sino ngayon may problema?
Mr. Chair, we have been filed. I was also a respondent or accused of the
Sandali po,
criminal case
I am
for
not asking you about your case. Well, in fact, demotion nga lang eh, di ba? You were just demoted.
the criminal case for malicious application of search
And now you're
warrant.
invoking sub judice in
No,
this
no,
committee?
Mr. Chair. That was also the there was a case filed against me, Mr. Chair, and then
So,
the search warrant. Actually, Mr. Chair, it was the honorable judge through searching questions and answers who made the probable cause and issued the same, which until now, Mr. Chair, was as ruled by the Supreme Court, was valid and the application was proper. I believe, Mr. Chair. I submit to the Supreme Court's ruling, Mr. Chair. If
valid.
that's my humble submission, Mr. Chair.
Na valid yung application ng search warrant?
Yes, Mr. Chair. It was in the ruling of the Supreme Court, Mr. Chair. I humbly submit.
May I know?
Sandali.
May I know anong ruling 'yan?
Mr. Chair, it was a consolidated case of all of the
Are you a
confused.
lawyer? Are you a lawyer?
I'm not, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Can you give me do you have a copy with you of the ruling?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have.
Pengi nga kami. Paige, can you please get a copy and submit this copy to the chair? Please proceed, Congressman Paduano.
Sino po yung nag-file ng case against
It was the NBI, Mr. Chair.
the NBI?
Yeah, perjury and malicious application of search warrant, Mr. Chair.
So, the Supreme Court decided in favor?
No, sir, at the Municipal Trial Court of Basay, Samar, Mr. Chair.
So, nag-appeal ba yung NBI? Did they appeal?
I think they did not, Mr. Chair.
They didn't.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, ito yung problema. NBI, are you familiar with the case?
Good evening, Mr. Chair. We are familiar with the case. However, if the questions will be about the case itself, we would like to have a moment with the records, and we will submit the records of the case on the next hearing, Your Honor.
Ano lang po, update kami dito, no? Kasi, while you're telling this committee na yung MTC rules favorable to your case, tama?
That is correct, Mr. Chair. It was dismissed, Mr. Chair.
Pero alam mo na rin ngayon na there is a Supreme Court ruling also na
It was issued last...
sandali, na bawal mag-issue ng search warrant on government facilities.
Actually, Mr. Chair, it was fully discussed in the ruling, Mr. Chair, that it is allowed to apply a search warrant for a criminal investigation.
Sa MTC yan.
No, Mr. Chair, from the Supreme Court in bank, Mr. Chair. The one that I give the ruling, Mr. Chair. It was fully discussed in there, Mr. Chair. That's why I said I humbly submit to the ruling of the Supreme Court with that regard, Mr. Chair.
Hindi, papacheck namin ha. Papacheck namin kasi magkaiba tayo ng appreciation dyan sa ruling ng Supreme Court. Yes.
Mr. Chair, I think Major Gargar, the question of
Laraga.
Chairman Paduano was whether or not you knew for a fact that there was no, that the deponent that you brought before the court was not a detainee. Did you have prior knowledge of the fact that he was not a detainee?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So alam mong hindi siya detainee.
At that moment, Mr. Chair, he was already outside. Yeah, previously, Mr. Chair.
But you just heard the warden say that they have no records of him being a detainee.
It was from a different facility, Mr. Chair.
But you just said that it was the Abayog. What was that?
Abuyog.
Abuyog.
Yes, that is
Baybay.
correct, Mr. Chair.
We
They are from the Baybay jail.
Baybay sub-provincial facility kami.
Okay, so where was Mayor Espinosa detained?
Baybay sub-provincial jail facility.
Bye. And you were at what was your place? Abuyog. Well, are you at Bye?
Baybay.
Kayo?
Yes.
And he was Major Gargar was saying that the deponent that he brought was also a detainee at Bye. Tama
No.
ba? He was the detainee at a different place. So
Yes.
if he was detained at a different place, how could he say, or how could he testify that Mayor Espinosa had these illegal things in his cell?
Mr. Chair, if I may be able to...
If they were detained
Discuss.
at different institutions.
Mr. Chair, if I may be able to discuss. If
Go ahead,
you-
sir, please.
Mr. Chair, the situation kasi noon, Mr. Chair, is that PDLs or those previously detained and also inside the jail, Mr. Chair, they have all connections from different
so
different
sinasabi mo,
jails.
chismis lang, marites. He heard. He didn't actually see.
No, Mr. Chair, he was able to penetrate based on his testimony, Mr. Chair. That is not my testimony, Mr.
He is detained at a different facility, yet he
Before.
is able to penetrate.
Before, Mr. Chair, before. So he has knowledge. He knows yung kalakaran po sa loob ng mga jails, yung with regard to illegal drug trade, Mr. Chair.
Knowing the kalakaran and actually seeing it and having personal knowledge of these things are two different things. Major Laraga, tama po ba?
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Oh, so you bring an deponent who had no personal knowledge of the things except just knowing the kalakaran in the area? Yan ang deponent mo? For the issuance of a search warrant?
No, Mr. Chair, he has personal knowledge, Mr. Chair.
How did he get personal knowledge again? Can you enlighten me po?
In his testimony, Mr. Chair, he was able to penetrate.
How did he penetrate a jail facility without him being detained there? Was he a jail guard?
There was his, actually, I don't have his sworn affidavit.
But you
Mr.
interviewed
Chair,
him,
I
I'm
cannot,
sure, di ba? Major Laraga, in-interview mo siya before mo siya pinesenta sa korte, tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and
Oh, so anong-
he was subjected to a searching question and answer
No,
by the issuing
I'm
judge.
asking you. In-interview mo ba yung deponent mo?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, so ano
By
sabi
the
niya?
investigator also.
Yes, paano niya nalaman? How did he have personal knowledge? Yan ang gusto mo malaman.
It was in his affidavit,
I'm
Mr.
asking
Chair.
you. You interviewed him. You just said that you interviewed him.
Yun nga, Mr. Chair, nakapasok siya doon.
Paano nga makapasok?
Nagka-transaction sila ni, if I'm not mistaken, doon sa ano, nagkaroon sila ng mismong physical ni the late Mayor
Okay.
Espinosa.
Major Laraga, explain how he explained to you paano siya nakapasok as an ordinary civilian na hindi detainee in a jail facility. Paano siya nakapasok?
Actually, Mr. Chair, the allegation na mayroong collusion between mga bantay doon sa loob is yun yung reason na nakapasok sila. And that has been already almost public knowledge in the penal institutions there in Region 8, Mr. Chair. Alam naman po nung almost lahat ng operatiba doon prior to that, Mr. Chair. Talagang
So ang sinabi niya sa'yo by collusion with some jail guards maybe and some other persons inside the jail, he was able to go inside. Is that correct? Major
yes,
Laraga?
Mr. Chair. Through the influence of the drug lord Espinosa drug group.
And that from his entry into that facility, he was able to see firsthand how things were being done. That's why you're saying that he had personal knowledge of these things.
That
correct?
is correct, Mr. Chair, based on his testimony, Mr.
And you believe that, Major Laraga?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Because you
I
brought him.
believe. Because prior to that, Mr. Chair, I had been operative, and we already had an intel information with regard to that illegal drug trade inside a penal colony and any detention facilities,
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
now, is that the reason why when you entered the facility, you wore a bonnet or covered your face?
Mr. Chair, that is not true, Mr.
That
Chair.
is not true.
I was not wearing bonnet, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
is it true that you turned off the CCTV system inside the jail facility?
That is not true, Mr. Chair.
So
and,
none of you did. It was all working at the same time.
Yes, Mr. Chair. With regard to that, Mr. Chair, we had been also charged with with that particular violation, Mr. Chair,
And?
by the NBI.
By the NBI.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Also in court.
In court, Mr.
Also
Chair.
dismissed.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, you have a very good lawyer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you, Congressman Flores.